In a small town nestled between two mountains, there lived a man named James. He was known for many things: his warm laugh, his generosity, his way of making a stranger feel like an old friend within minutes. But most of all, James was known for his openness. He shared everything: his dreams, his fears, his plans, his sorrows. He told his neighbors when he had saved enough money to expand his little shop. He told his friends about the argument he'd had with his wife. He told his cousin about the business idea he'd been nurturing for 2 years. He told anyone who would listen about the land he hoped to buy on the east side of the river. People liked James for this. They found him refreshing, unguarded, real. He has nothing to hide, they said, admiringly. And James took this as a compliment. He believed deeply that openness was the same as honesty, that sharing everything meant you had nothing to be ashamed of, that trust was built by leaving all your doors open and letting the world walk through. He was wrong, and it would take him a long time and a great loss to understand why. Among all the people in James's life, none listened more eagerly than a man named Derek. Derek was charming, well-spoken, and always seemed genuinely interested in what James had to say. He would lean in close, ask follow-up questions, nod with warm understanding. James felt deeply seen by him. What James did not notice was that Derek never shared anything in return. While James spoke of his finances, his fears, his plans, Derek offered only smiles and clever questions. While James laid out the map of his life openly on the table, Derek kept his own folded in his pocket. This imbalance never struck James as strange. He was so accustomed to giving that the absence of receiving felt normal. One evening, James told Derek about the plot of land. He described it in detail: the price, the seller's name, the deal he was close to finalizing. His eyes were bright with excitement. Derek listened with particular attention that night. There is a kind of listener who does not listen to understand you. They listen to collect you, piece by piece, until they have enough to use. 3 weeks later, James went to the seller to sign the agreement. The seller looked at him with an uncomfortable expression and said quietly that the land had already been sold. James was devastated. He confronted Derek, who shrugged with the calm of a man who had never promised anything and therefore felt he had broken nothing. "You told me about it," Derek said simply. "I simply acted faster." James went home and sat on his porch for a long time. His wife sat beside him in silence. Eventually, his elderly neighbor, a woman named Eleanor, who had lived long enough to have seen every version of this story, came and sat across from him with a cup of tea. She did not offer sympathy first. She offered truth. "James," she said, "a well that tells every traveler how deep it is and where its water flows will one day find itself dry. The wise well gives water only to those who have earned the right to drink from it." He looked at her. "But I trusted him." "You trusted him with what?" she asked. "Had he ever given you reason to trust him? Or did you simply decide to trust him because it felt good to share?" The question sat in his chest like a stone. Trust is not something you give freely to whoever stands close enough. It is something you extend slowly, in small amounts, and watch carefully. Like watering a plant you are not yet sure will grow. Eleanor continued, "There is a difference between being honest and being unguarded. A good man keeps his heart open, but not every door of that heart needs to be open to every person. Some rooms are sacred. Some dreams are too fragile to survive the cold air of other people's ambitions. You must learn to hold some things close. Not out of dishonesty, but out of wisdom." James did not become a closed man after that. He did not grow cold or suspicious or bitter. That was not the lesson, and he was wise enough to know it. What he changed was more subtle. He began to notice the difference between connection and exposure. He realized that sharing every thought the moment it arrived was not intimacy, it was noise. Real intimacy was built slowly, through actions over time, through moments of being tested and not being failed. He stopped announcing his plans before they were ready. He let his dreams grow in the dark a little longer, the way seeds need soil and time before they can survive sunlight. He learned that speaking a dream too early can drain it of its power, that sometimes saying something out loud hands it to the world before you have made it yours. He also learned to watch how people spoke about others when that person wasn't in the room. Because a person who shares everyone else's secrets with you will share your secrets with everyone else. He looked at the people in his life with new, gentler eyes, not suspicious eyes, but discerning ones. He asked himself, has this person shown me through their actions that they are safe? Have they kept something of mine before? Do they give as much as they take? And slowly, he began to give his trust not like a man handing out bread on a street corner, but like a man offering a key, thoughtfully, selectively, with full awareness of what door it opened. Years later, James did buy his land. He told no one until the papers were signed. Home that evening, sat down with his wife and his two closest friends, people who had earned their place at his table across many years, and shared a quiet meal. His wife asked him why he hadn't told her sooner. He smiled and said, I wanted to be sure it was real before I made it a story. There is a river near that town. The locals say it has been flowing for 1,000 years. What they also say, though fewer people notice, is that the river does not give its water to everyone equally. It fills the wells of those who dig deep and wait. It floods past those who only stand at the bank, waiting for it to come to them. James understood, finally, what the river knew all along. Not everyone who walks beside you is walking with you. And the most precious things in your life, your dreams, your wounds, your plans, your peace, deserve to be given only to those who have shown they will carry them with care. Openness is a virtue, but wisdom decides who deserves it. Not every person in your life has earned access to every part of you. Silence about your plans, dreams, and struggles is not dishonesty. It is protection. Let your actions speak when the time is right. Trust is built through observed behavior over time, not given as a gift to whoever listens warmly. Someone who never shares anything with you but always wants to know everything about you is collecting, not connecting. Dreams shared too early can be stolen, discouraged, or drained of energy. Let them grow strong in silence before you bring them into the light.